Amor Fati. Today I figured I'd talk a little bit about the Latin phrase Amor Fati. Amor Fati is the love of fate. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, spoke of it. Marcus Aurelius spoke of it. Nietzsche spoke of it quite a bit. This concept of Amor Fati, the love of fate. And I've operated in the various film and television productions that I've done over the years with that buried in the back of my head and didn't even really know it until I was introduced to these Stoics and some of their ideas, and then it became something of an aha moment. That's what I was feeling, and that's why some of these things made so much sense, and that's why other things didn't make any sense. And I think that Amor Fati and Memento Mori are both probably my two favorite ideas, philosophies that come from, or at least we hear of a lot in the Stoics, the Stoic philosophy. And I'm not saying I adhere entirely to that. I don't adhere entirely to any philosophy or religion, but I like to hunt for morsels of things that make a lot of sense. Especially after so many crazy adventures that I've been through and some of those experiences and how it shapes how you feel. And in this day and age, and I know you can probably dial right into what I'm saying here. In this day and age, you can feel it, right? A lot of confusion, a lot of turmoil, a lot of what TF is going on, right? Well, these things help. And Amor Fati is really, really helpful. Things are going to happen, good and bad. Embrace it and love it, good and bad, regardless. Now, how does that work? What are some examples of this? Well, here we go. So Albert Camus spoke of the Greek mythological story of Sisyphus, who was doomed, condemned by the gods to roll this massive boulder up a mountain, only to have it roll right back down and have to continue doing this for eternity, forever. And he said, can you imagine Sisyphus happy? That's a hard thing to understand, right? Such a dreary, painful, physical, monotonous thing every single day, forever. And hidden behind what Camus was saying is something very powerful. And this is what Nietzsche latched onto. Whatever happens is going to happen, be it good, be it bad. And the result of this, be it good, be it bad, are outcomes and a future that comes in the way that it's going to come. So why not embrace it? Why not take full advantage of it, accept it, and love it? Amor Fati, the love of fate. Now, in this day and age, we're struggling. In this day and age, we're struggling to try to understand what the hell is going on. And so we analyze, we interpret, we throw our opinions and our criticisms and this and that at everything. Here we go again. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's really cool. On and on and on and on. And we wonder, What the hell is this? And what I would like to present is a way of managing this that is absolutely Amor Fati. Embrace it. Man, it's hard. It's not easy. Someone dies in the family you love. How the hell do you say, okay, that's okay, and embrace it, right? Other things, projects you're working on, and things go nuts. And by the way, I got news for anybody in any kind of creative endeavor, or let's just say any kind of building endeavor, where you're building something that does not exist from scratch, be it a business, be it an art project, be it a craft, in my case, movies and television. Let me tell you something. It will never, ever, ever go as planned. I don't care how well prepared you are. And I'm not knocking preparation. That's a good thing. But if you expect it's just going to fall in line like paint by numbers, wow, good luck with that. It doesn't happen that way. The magic, in my opinion, to Amor Fati is recognizing in any given situation the reality and truth behind what's going on. So let me tell you a little story. I tell this story a lot. So many years ago, I was filming 2 movies back to back in Guatemala. And so what we did was we flew our cast down from Los Angeles, and we were filming all over the country in Antigua, the ancient city of Antigua. We were in the Mayan Highlands, Lago Atitlan, Chichicastenango, Panachanel, and then we went over to the jungle, the Petén, to Tikal, the pyramids, the ancient city there. It was amazing. When you film in a place like Guatemala, and we were there for a very long time, I was there for a very long time, it's tough. Not only culturally is it different, but the weather conditions are very different. It can be scorching hot in one moment and incredibly cold and blustery the next. You can be filming in the jungle and just be eaten alive by the largest, biggest insects you've ever seen in your life. And so it's tough, it's hard. So one day we were filming on Lago Atitlan. Lago Atitlan is a lake kind of in the middle of the Mayan Highlands, way, way, way up there. And there's these little villages that kind of, there are 12 of them. There are actually 12 of them. One, they're named for the apostles in Christianity, right? So each of these little villages is around, but it's a huge, huge lake, massive. And you can be out there at certain times, depending upon the weather, and not even see the other shore from wherever you are. Anyway, so we had rented the use of these 2 little fishing boats. And when I say fishing boats from the local Mayans, I mean fishing boats. No cover, just open fishing boats. We had probably 5 or 6 people on each of these boats. One was a picture boat, that's what we were filming. One was more or less the camera boat. And as we were filming, we had 2 or 3 female actors, and then I think 2 or 3 male actors, and then maybe 4 crew members, a really tiny little crew out there. So we're out there filming, middle of the day, and all of a sudden we look over and there is a black wall of clouds. And when I say a black wall, I mean, you know when you see those desert storms like in the Sahara and whatnot, and it's literally a black wall of sand and it's moving right at you? Like that, but moisture, water on the lake. We're in the middle of the lake in these 2 little fishing boats. And that squall, that thing, is coming right at us. So those little motors, those little putt-putt outboards, were not going to get us out of there in time. So we bagged up the cameras as best we could. We covered them. And the fishermen who had taken us out there had these tarps, you know, like those blue tarps you get at the big box stores, just flimsy little tarps. They had a couple of those. That was our cover. We got nailed. I mean, this storm hit us and just pummeled the bejesus out of us. It was cold. Everything was saturated with water. We were wet. It was miserable. We finally got into kind of like a little safe harbor. We hung out for about another hour there, waiting for this thing to pass because we needed to get back out there and keep filming. So we did that, and it was tough. So we finished out our day, went back to our base camp, which was at one of these little villages on the edge of the lake. And I will never forget the berating, the anger. I had two of my actors, one guy and one girl, and they were pissed. They attacked me like you would not believe. I was the devil at that point for putting them out there in the first place and for wanting to continue to shoot. Okay. Well, there were three actors, those two who were screaming at me, we needed to get out of the lake that night. So the plan was to take them across the lake on one of the boats, get them to a shuttle that was waiting for them to get them down to Guatemala City, to get a plane out because they had to fly back that night. So this screaming that I got, this verbal torture that was generated at me, kept going and going and going until we watched them putt away on the lake to get to the other side. Well, they made it back to LA safely eventually. The other one who went with them, a guy, right before they departed from the lake, he came over to me and he said to me, he said, "Gary, thank you." He gave me a big hug and he said, "Dude," he said, "that was insane." He said, "That was one of the best adventures I've been on in my entire life. I am never going to forget this day." And I just kind of thought to myself, and I loved him. In that moment, I really loved him in that moment. I thought, man, what a cool dude. What a cool cat. He gets it. He gets it. That's Amor Fati, the love of fate. Yeah, it was tough. We were cold. We were freezing. We were wet as wet can be. Okay? But that's what happens when you're filming in places like that. And if you go with it, you embrace it, you end up with something far better than you could have ever planned. And that's exactly what happened. Now, the story doesn't stop there. A few years later, Christmas party, Hollywood. I'm in my agent's office in Hollywood, and he's having a big Christmas party. Guess who's at that Christmas party? The girl, the female actress who had been out there on the lake and who had screamed at me, basically calling me the devil that day. She saw me walk into the offices and she literally ran to me and gave me a huge hug, surprised the hell out of me. And she said, "Thank you. Thank you so much for that crazy adventure. I talk about it at birthday parties and Christmases and family events. I have told that story so many times." And I thought to myself in my head, please forgive me. It was a knee-jerk reaction. What a bitch. I did. I did. And then afterwards, I chilled out and realized, look, she was just upset. Give her a break, blah, blah. But my knee-jerk was like, you tortured me. Man, you just brutalized me over this thing. And now it's one of the best stories you have in your life. That's Amor Fati. That's it. That's exactly it. It's embracing everything that comes your way. Everything. And I mean the crap. And right now, right? Talk about this for a second. We're in the age of crap, right? I don't care what side of the aisle you on, what sort of tribe you're aligned with. I don't align with tribes. So let's get that out of the way right off the bat. I ain't blue, I ain't red, I ain't nothing. I'm a human being who votes my conscience and cares about people and beauty and love and all those things. That's where I come from. So it ain't that, okay? But it's, Jesus Christ. Man, it's nuts. It's insanity, right? Well, consider the story I just told you. Consider even more mundane things in life when you're having a really bad day, or you have a family event, you have whatever it is. You attach it to you, okay, your situation. What are you going through? What's the reality, right? You could say, poor pitiful me. You could say, God damn it, life sucks. Wow, this is hell. You can do all these things. But at the end of the day, if you can embrace it and understand that it is necessary, whatever it is, good or bad, to get to the next step, which you might really love, by the way. If you can learn to do that, that's a necessary component, it is what is, it'll change everything for you. If there is no such thing as evil, then there's no such thing as good. You need a barometer. How do you measure what is good if there isn't this other thing called bad? Yin and yang. Dear God, we could go into so many examples of this, right? How would you know what cold is if there's no such thing as hot? You can't. You have to have them. It's that duality thing we talk about. You have to have the opposite thing for there to be a thing in the first place. Otherwise, it's not a thing. Nietzsche spoke of this a lot. I think that with Nietzsche, one of the things he really expressed a lot was this idea of, look, embrace it. Take advantage of bad things. Bad things are going to happen. I don't care how well you prepare. I've already explained this. Crazy, nutty, sometimes bad things are going to happen, period. It's how you handle them. And I know it's a cliche. We hear this all the time nowadays, but it's worth repeating, and it's worth attaching stories like the one I just told to that. Because without those stories, I wouldn't have my life. I wouldn't have the vibrance. I have one of the most amazingly vibrant lives I could even imagine, in all honesty. And a large part of that is because of these things, because of these ideas such as Amor Fati, right? Embrace fate. When you're out there and you're rock climbing and you run out of gear and you've got 30 more feet of that crack to go up, and the crack's this thick, and the only thing you can get in that crack is your fingertips, but you got to go for it because your last piece of protection's 15 feet below you. That's it, man. You got to go, right? You just got to do it. And so this is what it's all about. When you're in these situations where it seems hopeless, it feels horrible, you're suffering, whatever, try to remember that, especially now. Remember it. Amor Fati. Because if you can do that, if you can embrace the moment, even if it sucks, I guarantee you, your mental state will be so much better than so many people around you. I don't care if you're a multi-billionaire. Doesn't mean you're happy. You can be just as miserable if you don't understand these basic fundamental things. And you have to embrace them. You have to bring them in, and you have to make them you. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the tough times. Love the great times. Embrace them. Remember them. Don't forget those moments. And when the bad times come, embrace them and say, hey, buddy, I saw you coming. I knew you were going to be on your way sooner or later. It's cool. Let's get through this. Let's work through it all, and we'll be fine. I could be pissy because there's an airplane flying overhead right now, messing up my audio. But I'm not going to let it get to me, because you know what? Amor Fati. Amor Fati. That's it. The love of fate. So, I hope this has helped. Again, psychoactivecircus.com is where our movies are, our pay-per-view and VOD movies. These are experimental, many of them. They're not for everybody. They're different and they're meant to be different. Go enjoy something different, try it out. We don't know, Tabitha and I aren't sure if we'll ever actually monetize our YouTube channels. I hate the idea of like ads. Oh God, I hate ads, period. Jumping into these little talks. I think I would prefer to just do the talks. So the way we monetize what we do is our movies and our television shows, and then Tabitha's fan sites. So if you want to help us out with those, cool. Really love it. But it doesn't matter. If you're tight, you don't have the cash to spend, whatever, cool. Just listen to the talks and gather something from them. You can also watch our movies, a lot of our movies for free on Tubi, so you don't have to pay a dime. Die Influencers Die, our horror film, is on Tubi right now. You can go check that out. So we're going to try to keep the ads away as much as we can. I can't wrap myself around these companies nowadays and these corporations that are so abusive to us, gaining from our blood, sweat, and tears. So that's a whole other topic for another video, and I'll do a talk on that at some point. But I just don't feel like endorsing these companies, really. I don't, because they just care about one thing, and it's money. They don't care about spirit, soul, beauty, the things that you and I care about, right? So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon.